boys and girls, welcome back to Nature Moments with Mr. Will. I'm Mr. Will, and it's always a pleasure to be back in the forest. Do you hear the sounds? The beautiful birds. It's a beautiful day. Perfect day to go visit Katie Kale's garden. And this week, we have a new visitor, a new surprise. I'm not going to even tell you who it is. It's not Wendy the Wormy, it's someone else. And I think you're going to like this insect. Yeah, I gave you a hint, but I'm not going to tell you who it is. So, are you ready? All right, put on your hiking boots and here we go. Off we go to Katie Kale's garden.
Oh, hi. We've got a guest in the garden. Who are you? I'm Katie Kale.
I am Beatrice the Bee. You can just call me Bee.
It's nice to meet you, Beatrice. Or Bee.
What are you doing to keep busy, Katie?
Oh, I'm gonna refill the bird bath. You know, Bee, I filled it up this morning, but already I've been losing water. Do you have any idea how that happens?
Losing water? How do you lose water? Does it have anything to do with honey or nectar?
No, not really.
Or maybe sunshine?
It has a lot to do with the sun. Do you know what the sun causes? It causes a whole lot, but in this case, it causes evaporation.
Evaporation. What a big word.
Do you know about the water cycle? I've got a song for you, and it goes like this. Evaporation, condensation, precipitation. You try to sing it.
Well, I've never sung a song before.
Yeah, this is one of those songs where you repeat after me.
After you?
It goes like this. Evaporation,
Evaporation,
condensation,
condensation,
precipitation.
precipitation. Whoa.
And just like that, the sun helps turn water into water vapor, which brings it up into the sky, where there it cools and condenses into clouds. And then that cloud gets really heavy, and then we get precipitation. Rain, snow, sleet, things like that.
So it is a cycle that goes round and round, like my flight path.
Forever.
So the water that falls from the sky now is the same water that has been falling forever? Like even when the dinosaurs walked around on their 2 or 4 legs?
Yeah, this is the same water that has been on Earth for all of Earth's time.
That is amazing to think about. Do you think even dinosaur pee is still around?
Potentially, yeah. They say, and I might not explain this well, but like the molecules inside of us, like the atoms inside of us, are atoms that like could have been an Einstein. Like the probability of like any atom in your body being anything else over time is like almost certain, if that makes sense. I'm not really good at explaining physics, but yeah, this is like the same water that's been cycling on Earth for like 4.6 billion years.
Wow, that is amazing. I never thought about that. I keep busy flying to so many gardens, but this one seems a bit different. What is that straw? That straw over there.
Oh, you mean the straw that I have in the beds? Well, I use it as mulch.
What is mulch?
So mulch is organic matter, sometimes made out of wood chips or leaves or straw, and that you lie it over the ground. It helps keep moisture in the soil and suppress weeds.
Does it make the plants grow better?
So the mulch is kind of like a blanket, and instead of just a blanket to keep the ground warm, this is a blanket that helps keep the moisture in the soil so it doesn't dry out. So just like we saw with the bird bath, how the water had evaporated out of the bird bath, water will evaporate out of your soil, and that'll happen faster if it's not covered with mulch or a plant.
So it keeps precipitation in the ground?
Yeah, so once it's not precipitation anymore, so once it falls into the ground, it's just water, I guess. So once that water is in the soil, it'll stay there a little longer for the roots to be able to drink it up and for like everything to be alive in the soil. So like if your soil dries out, that's really bad for your roots, but it's also bad for like your microbial life and your worms and all of that.
So it stops the evaporation. That big long word, evaporation.
Yeah, our mulch helps stop the evaporation from happening so quickly in the soil. Good questions, Bee.
Thank you. I love to be a busy bee. Sometimes I buzz into the library and I read the books at night.
In the dark?
My friend is a firefly and he comes with me to light up all the pages. I learned to read from my mom. She was a spelling bee. I am always sure to share honey with my friend.
Oh, that's fantastic. What a good partnership. Very cool.
I love learning all about water. What else can you tell me about water?
Well, I could really drink some water.
Yes, let's go get a drink of water.
Do you know my friend Drake? Let's all say hi to my friend Drake. Hi, Drake.
Hi.
And I dumped it down myself.
Water is very important. I am so glad you make sure that the plants and flowers have plenty of water. How much water do we need?
A lot. Especially when we're sweating. Like on days like this. I'm sorry. I aggressively drank that water. Days like this when we're losing all this water, it's really important to make sure we're keeping ourselves hydrated. This is 32 ounces, and I'm not exactly sure what the recommendation is, but I try to drink at least 2 of these, if not like 3 of these a day. If I'm sweating, 3. 2 on a regular day. Yeah.
Bees do not even sweat.
About 2/3 of our bodies are made up of water, so it's just really important for like everything to keep working in our body to have enough water in it.
How much water is in the whole world, I wonder?
Also, about 2/3. It's pretty cool. Our body and the Earth's body are made up of about the same amount of water.
What about plants? Oh, I love plants.
Plants have a lot of water inside of them because like your stem of the plant is kind of like the pipes that help the water get from the roots out to the leaves and the fruit. And the fruits or vegetables of a plant can often have a lot of water. Like if you've ever cracked open a melon or like eaten a tomato, they're really juicy inside, and that's from water. The same with like cucumber and zucchini, which I have out here to show you today.
And what about me? How much water am I made from?
In you, a bumblebee? I'm not exactly sure.
I guess I will have to look that up at the library the next time I go.
Yes, when you're reading in the book drop at night. Bee, where are you going? Hi, bees. Yeah, the bees really love my fennel, Bee. I believe that these are honeybees. I'm not exactly sure where they live, but honeybees go out and forage in like a 3-mile radius from their hive. So they could be from like anywhere in the adjacent neighborhoods. But they found my yard as a place to come eat.
And you know what we make, right?
Well, they make honey.
Yes, we make honey. I wanted to be sure. Be sure you knew that.
And they bring their pollen back because the pollen's full of a lot of protein, which is also, they make stuff out of the protein from the pollen.
So many bee friends. Oh, Bianca, Belinda. What are all of the wood chips for? The big pile.
Are you talking about my mulch mountain here? Well, I have these to mulch my garden. So this is pretty nice mulch. It's a pine bark mulch. And you can see here that it's like kind of in lots of little pieces and kind of fluffy. Anyway, it is organic matter that can help build soil, but it also, like I was talking about how mulch can help retain that moisture in the soil. This is all mulch that I need to put in my garden. I was planning on mulching the plants along my front walkway and just helping to suppress the weeds and keep the moisture in the soil up there.
So many kinds of mulch. Straw mulch and pine mulch.
I've got chipped leaves as mulch, and I have wood chips as mulch in my yard.
Your grass is very green. Is there anything special you do to take care of your lawn?
So Bee, with our lawn, we have to cut it because it will get really long, but we try to stretch out the time between mowings as much as possible. There are a few reasons for that. One is because I really like to admire all the different plants that are growing in the lawn, and you really get to see how they flower and how they differ if you let them grow a little taller. And another reason is that it helps the water infiltrate the soil more if they're like taller plants in it. And one of the things we do when we cut the grass is we like leave all of our grass clippings in place. We don't rake them up. We just kind of let them lie on the ground and mulch the yard. And if there's ever any extras that clogged up in the lawnmower, and there usually are pieces clogged up in the lawnmower, I can take it and I can place it like around a plant and use it as mulch. You can see down here, these are it's our chipped leaf mulch down here. So you can see how these were bigger pieces of leaves, but I used a leaf mulcher to make them smaller, and that helps keep the moisture in the soil. Like, it hasn't rained in a few days, but as I've pushed this these leaves away, like I got to a layer where these leaves are wet. So you can see that mulch in action over here under my fig tree.
So you keep busy, but you do not work too hard.
and being a lazy lawn keeper? Kind of, yeah. We have the longest lawn on the block and we're like, everybody else cuts it like once a week. We go 2, maybe 3 weeks. Also in the spring, I wait as long as I can, and I do that because the yard ends up kind of being a tree nursery, which is wild. You'll see I've got some trees and some pots over here, and there's some like popping up in the garden. And because we wait to cut our grass, like acorns that maybe dropped here back in the fall, like get the chance to sprout into trees. And so I saved them to hopefully be able to plant somewhere where there's more room for trees. Because this land used to mostly be forest, and so it's always trying to get back to that place. So trees pop up everywhere and I save them, which is not something every gardener does.
It's pretty hot out now. Do you think the garden needs to be watered now?
So I can start watering this side of the garden because it's in the shade. But one thing you want to avoid doing is watering your garden while the sun is on it. So right now I'm gonna wait a little bit before I water that side. That's just because you can accidentally burn the leaves. If you think about like a magnifying glass, a little droplet of water could act like a magnifying glass on a plant leaf and it could burn the leaf. So the best times to water are really early in the morning before the sun gets strong, or in the evening once the sun starts going down. And this celery over here really likes water. This one's parsley. This one's celery. They look really similar.
How much water is in celery?
A lot of water. Celery actually has negative calories.
Hey, what is that big yellow thing over there?
That squash got so big. Let's see if it's ready to pick. You hear that?
I wonder what kind of squash it is.
That's a good question, Bee. A very pretty squash.
That squash is yellow like me. I will have to look it up in the library. What kind of vegetable has the most water in it?
Well, one of them that I can think of right now is celery. Do you want to go pick some?
Well, I prefer nectar and honey, but sure, I would love to see your celery.
Cool. Let's go over here. That's celery too, but this one's big. I'm going to show you something with this.
What are you going to show me?
An experiment.
A science experiment? I love learning about science.
Science time.
It seems smart to save the rainwater in barrels. Then you can serve up water by using it for your garden. I think rain barrels are a beautiful idea.
So I want to talk about a few vegetables. I've got a zucchini here. I'm going to go ahead and cut a little slice. And you can start to see the water squeaking out of this zucchini, like almost immediately beating up. Yes, it's been really nice to come out to the garden in the evenings before I make dinner, and I ask the garden, like, who wants to be in my meal, and then I find stuff growing and I cook. It's really fun. And this is a cucumber. This one also, right away you can see the moisture beading up there. So my guess is that zucchini and cucumber have a pretty high percentage of water inside of them. If like right away you start to see those beads. Pretty cool.
Is it tasty?
It's really good. I chew my food thoroughly. When I eat a cucumber, it's like eating an ice cream cone. So it can be really fun to repurpose things, and I find that a lot of gardeners are very resourceful. So this toilet came out of our friend's house, and we wanted to make use of it, so we turned it into a planter. So it's just like a neat way to, I don't know, to make a flower pot out of something that isn't typically a flower pot.
Ha! You know, that matches your hat. It is the same shade of blue. Is that why they call you the Nutty Gardener?
I think so.
Katie, it was so nice to be in your garden today. I hope to be buzzing around and seeing so many busy things happening and growing here. Thank you.
Well, boys and girls, that's pretty much about it for today. We had a great time with Katie Kale and learning about water from Beatrice B and learning about all those cool things about her garden. It's awesome. So, what do you want to do until next week? We want to get outside, go on and sit underneath a tree and watch the clouds go by and listen to the birds and have a good week. Take care. Bye-bye.